Hi, I'm Ron Jones, head luthier of Cream City Music. I've been doing this for about 35 years now. The little beauty here that I opened the case on a couple of days ago and said, oh my goodness, this is a very expensive Martin at first glance. And until I started looking a little bit closer at some of the details, and I decided that, hey, this is a forgery. And first thing I saw was in the finish, these little depressions were in it. And said, I would never see that from a Martin. And then I also saw around the sound hole, very crudely cut little spaces like that you would never see on a Martin. Then I knew, I said, oh, there's no way this can be a Martin. And then dead giveaway. Fine guitar where the sound hole, where the neck adjustment is. It's also 4mm where Martin uses a 5, and it's never exposed at the cross brace. It's further up the neck. So then you start looking at this purfling, which Martin would do mother of pearl or abalone all the way around it. But if you look at this, it's one continuous piece. It has no depth to it. And it's actually a piece of vinyl that they add in there. Whereas a true Martin with the abalone, every inch or so is a separate piece. Then some of the other details too, which is interesting, is it does have the Martin D45 label in there. It does show the stamping that Martin would always use. And then also further on that back stripe, it does say use medium or lighter gauge strings. The end block, which you really can't see, but it's normally Martin always does stencil in there with the model number and serial number. It's very light and faint, so it's very poor, and then also the block itself is very rough and crude. The other thing that's kind of interesting on this is something that you basically kind of like a tree of life. You would never see that on this model. Interesting about it is that the flower parts are actually abalone. They stand out because it's made from shell. It's sort of a metallic crystalline three-dimensional structure. And the white part, which is kind of the tree, is actually the vinyl. You can hear the difference, may not on this, but the true abalone has a higher pitch to it, and then it goes to where it's just basically the plastic is a lower frequency to it. The other thing is that the back and sides are laminated. It's much darker on the inside, and you can actually see the pieces from the laminations. So it's a solid top, but it's laminate back and sides. The other thing I've noticed too is that the bridge is, Martin will always round off the corners and make it less stark. The bridge leans forward on this one because it's not really fitted very well, and the bridge pins I had to open up to fit properly. I had really a hard time taking them out. And also, you can't see it from now, but Martin always has very smooth holes where the bridge pins go into, and these were really rough. The bridge plate on the inside, Martin is always going to be a solid piece of wood, either maple or rosewood. In this case, it's a laminated piece of wood, which is always strikes me as being something from much cheaper manufacturing. The other thing too, if you look at the sides, where I was really looking at is that the inlay dots are very crude looking, especially when you come to the 12th fret. They're not even on the same level. One's higher than the other one. And they also just kind of blend, and you see this black stuff around there. Martin would never leave that. The fret ends were really rough, and I've had to do a lot of filing on them too. for them to be smooth. The other thing that really stands out is that it's mahogany, but they didn't bother to stain it as Martin always does. And then the taper is also, at this point, is flat, and then it goes into the round curvature. Other than that, if you look at it from a distance, you could be fooled in thinking this is a very expensive Martin. I'm going to show you what a real Martin looks like. This is a 0045. As you can see, it's the same, basically the same type of logo, but this is true abalone or mother of pearl. It has more sparkle and depth to it. Also, the lacquer will age and turn more amber looking. That definitely is the same shaping, but it's basically a very thin veneer that's inlaid into the headstock. This is more typical of what you find in the D45, these type of inlays. And you can see that they are more, they jump out at you because the shell itself is more three-dimensional. If you can imagine these pieces, you can see that about every inch there's a line in them, and that's what is when you do inlay purfling like this, each piece is set in separately, and that's why it becomes such expensive instruments, because the labor is very intensive with it. This is also true lacquer. That one is a polyurethane finish, and definitely always solid top, back, and sides. Finishing around sound holes always neat and circular, as well as the finishing work. And that you can't do. Also, the other thing is the purfling, usually with the abalone, is going to be thinner. It's never as wide as what you find on that other one when you try to make a copy per se. And if you can see, the ebony on the bridge is rounded off. You don't have the sharp edges that you see on the other one. That's pretty much about it.
Thanks a lot, Ron.
You're welcome.